I'm Brian Bailey with JTech, and today I'll be showing you the 4 measurements and adjustments that you would do to an easy pedal heavy duty clutch. Alright, so the first adjustment is the internal. So the spec for it is 1/2 inch, and you'd measure between the release bearing and the clutch brake, and that's gonna be right up in here. So I'm gonna stick this fork right in there. They actually make tools for this, but we got one made, so it's tight in there. So that's in spec. But if it wasn't in spec, the thing you would do is have somebody in the cab to press the pedal all the way down, and there's a nut right here, the adjuster nut. You take a wrench and then turn that bolt clockwise to pull that bearing closer. But the second measurement is you'd take a 1/8. It's for the free travel. The 1/8, and you stick it between the fingers, the yoke fingers, and right in between the release bearing, which is right in there. You push it in. That's 1/8. So that's in spec. And there's one more over here. You gotta measure this one too. And that one's in spec. And this is measured by, this is adjusted by linkage. All right, so, oh yeah, there's one more right here. It's gonna be the clutch brake squeeze. You're gonna have somebody in the cab and somebody down here with a 10,000 feeler gauge, and you'd stick it right up in between the clutch brake and the release bearing, and then you'd have it in there and have somebody depress the pedal all the way down in the truck, and then slowly release. And as soon as the feeler gauge starts to come out, they'd have a tape measure on the steering wheel to the pedal. I'll show you in a minute. The tape measure and the pedal, and it's like however far it comes to release, that'd be how much that measurement is in there. So. So the third adjustment, or third measurement, you would take this tape measure, and then you go all the way down to the pedal, and this is for the free pedal. So you go to that, and then find a good reference point. So this one's gonna be, I'm gonna go with 25 inches. So the spec for this is 1.5 to 2.5 inches. So that's right at 1.5. All right, and then there's the specs for the free pedal, and then we're gonna do the clutch brake squeeze. That would pretty much be the same thing. You would have somebody down up under the truck with a 10,000 feeler gauge in between the clutch brake and the release bearing, and you'd find a good reference point, push the pedal all the way down, find a good reference point, they'd be up under there, have it in there, and as soon as you gotta release like slowly, and as soon as that releases the 10,000 feeler gauge, you'd measure from the bottom of the pedal all the way up to that, and the spec for that is a half inch to 1 inch, and this truck's already in spec. So that's the 4 measurements and adjustments on a easy pedal heavy duty clutch.